Hi everyone, today we are talking about gliders. Since it's not a regional competition this year, it will only be held at Pacific Mesa. That being said, the rules have changed. The goal for this year is to build a glider that will go the furthest distance. You'll also be building your own launching elastic. Pacific Mesa will provide a 6-foot standard table and clamps to hold your elastic launcher to the table. All materials are legal except hazardous materials, remote controls of any kind, additional power sources that provide thrust, lift, or any other stored energy that assists with flight, or ready-made kits. So you cannot use any of these items. If you have any questions about the materials that you want to use, you can ask your advisor, liaison, or Pacific Mesa directly. General rules for your glider are that you need to have the team's full name of every student, grade level, school name, and Mesa Center on the glider. Otherwise, a 10% penalty will be added to your score. You can also use tie-on labels, but they will need to stay tied to the glider during testing. You must have an easily identifiable fuselage, wing, and tail. And you must also have a notch or other item such as a paperclip or pen cap, similar to right here, attached to the fuselage to hook onto the elastic launcher. Your glider can be made from various materials and there's no size or weight restrictions as long as there are no illegal materials. Only team members can hold or repair their glider. The impound and repair areas will be supervised. Rules for your launcher are to create a launcher by looping multiple rubber bands together or using a jumbo rubber band or any other elastic that you can think of. The launcher will be held onto the edge of the table using C-clamps, as seen here. And there'll also be a little sleeve to protect your launcher from the threads on the C-clamps. Your launcher must be able to loop around the C-clamps. It's suggested that you make these ends strong so they don't snap. The launcher will also be inspected during check-in to make sure that you can loop onto the C-clamps. If you're not able to, you must fix it before your first trial. You'll be allowed to take your launcher with you after check-in to fix it, but you must leave your glider in the impound table. Make sure to bring extra materials to repair your launcher if it breaks. And also, teams will decide how far back they want to pull their launcher. In this photo here, it's only pulled about halfway, but you can pull it as far as you can if that's your choice. For judging, gliders and launchers will be checked for specifications prior to the start of the competition. Disqualified teams can still compete if they meet all of the following requirements. You have to accept an automatic mistrial for your first launch. You have to make repairs and modifications to meet all the specifications, and you must be ready to compete by the time you're called for launch number 2. You have to make those repairs in the designated areas. The only exception is that launchers that fail at check-in can be taken with you to repair, but the gliders, again, must be left in impound. Failure to follow any of these requirements will result in your disqualification being upheld. Teams that aren't disqualified but want to make repairs can do so in the designated areas, but you must be ready by the time you're called for launch 1. Failure to report within 30 seconds of being called will result in a forfeited launch. Teams will be given 2 non-consecutive launches. That means that you'll have your first launch, and then all the other teams will go, and then you'll be called back up again for your second launch. Teams will have 2 minutes to set up their launcher and glider. The judges will assist with C-clamps. After 2 minutes, or when you say you're ready, judges will give a 3-second countdown, and the team will release the launcher after 1 is called. Judges will mark the glider's first touch point, and this is where the glider hits the ground. So for example, in this picture up here, if the glider hits the ground at this point and stays there, it'll be measured from the edge of the table all the way to where you landed. But if your glider hits this point and lands somewhere over here, it'll still be counted right here because that's where your glider first stopped. Okay, and distance is measured from the edge of the table to the first touch point within the nearest half inch. The judge's decision of the glider's first touch point is considered final. Digital media, such as photos and videos, will not be accepted for arbitration. As soon as the team is done launching, they must remove their launcher from the table. Judges will let the team know when they can pick up their glider. Once you pick up your glider, you have to return it to impound unless you intend on making repairs. And I'm going to give you a short video example here of how a sample launch would be done.
Okay, so you'll want to make sure that you loop the ends of your elastic on these little safety pieces so that they don't break. And then you use your handle to pull back. Grab this piece here so it doesn't break. And then take your glider with your hook, hook it at the end. And then once the judges say you can go,
Scoring and awards. The furthest distance out of the team's 2 launches will be used. In the case of a tie for any placement, there will be a fly-off to determine the winner. Fly-offs will occur one at a time, and the glider with the furthest distance at that time will get the placement. Medals will be given to the top 3 teams for each grade level: 6th grade, 7th and 8th grade, 9th and 10th grade, and 11th and 12th grade. For any questions, feel free to reach out to your advisors and your Pacific MESA liaisons. You can also reach out to Ilana and Rose, that's me, directly via email or the Remind app. Our emails are there below, or you could search for us on Remind using @PacificMe. Thanks, everyone.